I was detained in France. This is my story. It's the start of the Olympic today in France, and we've decided to create our own shooting game. It's first to 20. And I also thought of the memory I had when I was detained in France. It happened during my evangelic service on my way to the country I was called to serve. The service is for 18 months, including 6-week training preparation. I went to the US for my training, as well as learning the language. After 6 weeks of training, our itinerary to go to Cape Verde was prepared. We flew with Delta Airlines. The flight was from Salt Lake City to France, to Portugal, and to Cape Verde. There were 10 of us in the group. 8 of them were Americans, and myself and a friend of mine from Jamaica. We checked in, and everything went smoothly, although there was a slight issue with our document when it got scanned. They let us through. It was a long 11 hours flight, and then we went to the border control so we can get to our connecting flight. It was probably a little over an hour until it's our turn. I gave my passport to the officer, and after scanning it, she told me I don't have the correct document. I was shocked. The good thing was I wasn't alone. It wasn't good that she was with me, but at least I wouldn't be by myself. She's my friend from Jamaica. It's the same scenario. She also didn't have the correct document. We were told to wait, and then the airport officer came and escorted us to their office inside the airport. We didn't know what was happening then, as they don't speak English. We waited from 11 a.m. until late afternoon. We were so tired and hungry, and we didn't have a good chair to sit on, so we were using our luggage to support our head to get some more sleep. We were asking them what was happening, but they couldn't speak English, and we didn't know that we were actually waiting for a translator. At 6 in the evening, a translator came and explained what happened. We were told we didn't have the transit visa to continue our journey, and because we were passing through 2 airports in the EU, in Europe, we needed a visa, and because we didn't have it, we were detained. They will send us back to America. I remember asking them if they could send us back the same day. They said there was no flight to go to Salt Lake that evening, so we had to wait the following day. We were then searched, and they checked our luggage. They kept our passport and all our monies and cameras. After the search, we were then put in the closed area. It was a cleared window. I would say it's their holding cell. It was very cold. There were 3 people inside before us, 2 from Brazil and someone that speak French. We couldn't speak Portuguese well at this time, so we couldn't communicate to these 2 men that were in there. We waited for a long hours. There was a phone inside the holding cell. We then called the number we were given in case there was any issue to report our situation, but we couldn't get through. I called my mother to let her know, and she didn't panic, but told me the church will sort it out. We then waited for more hours until we were moved to the area where they kept all the people that don't have the correct documents. We were searched again and were given a room to stay in. When they opened the door, I was scared as there's a lot of people from different countries. This was my first international flight, so I was shaken for a little bit. I can't remember if we were fed in the evening, but I remember our room. There were 2 beds and a sink and a window. I looked at the window and I saw that the area was barricaded with a tall barbed wire, and behind it is a road. It was quiet at this time. In the hotel, we tried to contact the church department and we were able to get through. However, there's nothing more they can do at this time. The room we were in was so cold. I remember the blanket wasn't thick. It was just more of a folded sheet. It was good that I had a small blanket with me to warm me up. We woke up very early as they booked us an early flight. We then had our breakfast with the French steak bread, which was harder than a rock, and some other food, but I only remember the French steak. We were then taken to the airport and we were escorted until at the door of the plane, as if we were criminals. And our passports were then given to the flight attendants. All the flight attendants were very nice to us. They gave us a whole row seat so we could lie down, and a man let us use his phone so we could let our church agent where we were. Remember the slight issue we had at the check-in? We were told that they knew that we didn't have the correct documents, but they let us through. We flew back to America, and as soon as we landed, I was a little scared because I only had a single entry visa to the US, and I was concerned they won't let me in. However, it was later explained to me that because France had rejected me, it was as if I had not left the US, so I made it through the US border. We then went to the luggage area to collect our suitcase, only to find out they were not there, so we had to report it. We were then taken to the training center with no luggages, and we were given some clothes at the training center. It was good I had packed 3 pairs of clothes in my hand luggage that I could use while I was in France. And we got our luggages back after a week. We stayed for 3 more weeks in America and we were sent to Cape Verde. So what can we learn from this? If you are from the Philippines or from Jamaica or any other countries that have visa restrictions and your flight is transiting through 2 airports in Europe, make sure you get a transit visa. Pack few clothes in your hand luggage for emergency. You don't know when you're going to have one, so be prepared. So that's it. That's my story. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so you can hear more of my life story and some of my experiences in life. Thank you, and see you in my next video.